our Game Week 18 predictions. Dog Dad, we're back. But look, we don't have long till New Year. We need to get our predictions in. What we're starting with?
We're starting with last week's guest. What a mug he was.
Shocker.
The supercomputer.
Hey, never question the genie, Dog Dad.
He was rubbish. First of all, he started off by saying this is a really hard one to predict, and then he got it wrong. He got 6 points. You got 11.
Fine.
I got 11 points. Scores on the doors.
Okay, we'll go back to real humans as guest then.
Yeah.
How about Zach Dielab?
Oh,
Sky Sports,
yeah.
Football Daily. He's got the brains to beat the genie.
First game is West Ham United against Brentford, 16th against 10th. It's another London derby, Theo. And these are two teams who last week squandered leads, didn't they?
West Ham, I overestimated them. I can't believe how poor they were against Arsenal. What was Kufal doing when Saka took that goal? Martinelli at the front post. How does the goalie allow him to score from there? The fact they went 1-0 up at half-time and you really think they're finally going to get the points that they need in the Premier League table, and they bottled it. 3 goals in 16 minutes. Got to look at the manager. David Moyes, is he really the right man for the job?
Well, I'll tell you what, Theo, 4 defeats in a row, but surely David Moyes, he's a good manager. You give him longer.
Look, he's got experience, but is his tactics outdated? Do West Ham need something new? You look at that team and you think they got quality.
But they're up against a Brentford team who were ahead and squandered a lead against Tottenham Hotspur, didn't they, Theo? But a tough team to beat.
I didn't want to start it so negative, but if you back it off Palace and Leicester at home, Brentford could probably win this. Ivan Toney, the man.
Yes.
I mean, whilst you can play him, get the most out of him, and surely he can score against Hammers.
He was the man of the match, Theo, and it was great to see him playing football. Yeah, it's all been about the front pages. Let's get him on the back pages. I'm going to sit on the fence here.
Well, the Bees have only lost 1 in the last 7.
Yes.
Maybe a draw is on the cards. But is a draw enough for West Ham? I think they need points. I think it's 3 points or nothing. But I just feel David Moyes will find a way. He needs to. It's now or never for him. And I think they're going to edge it because it's due. West Ham to win 2-1. Let's go over to Chelsea's finest. Is he going to back a West Ham win? Let's see.
Yes, mate, thank you for having me on. Looking forward to this. I'll try my best and give a little bit of knowledge, but let's see how we get on. There is a lot of pressure on David Moyes, especially over the next kind of 2-3 games-ish, and I think they're going to lose. Ivan Toney is just in fantastic form until he kind of gets whatever is coming to him in terms of a decision regarding the betting stuff. At the moment with him playing, they're always going to be very, very strong. I'm sure Brentford will go out in the transfer market. I think Brentford will probably win this. I would say 2-1.
Liverpool against Leicester City. It's 6th against 13th, and Liverpool, Theo, they're finally finding some form. They've won 3 on a row. They were good last week.
Anfield's going to be a buzz, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
They won, and they pipped United to get to Cody Gakpo. Their fans are going to be over the moon. Surely they win this.
That is a very good signing, Theo. But
Yeah.
have we seen enough of him? And man, I know he was good at the World Cup. Is that enough, though?
Dad, he's the only player to score a goal at every group stage. His stats are audacious in the Dutch league. I know people have their questions, but look, you have to make it somewhere. He was player of the year in the Netherlands. I think he ticks all the boxes to be the perfect player to fit into that forward line. I actually think he would have flopped at United. Too toxic. Yeah.
One day soon, he's going to get 2 or 3.
He will, and I think it could be against Leicester at home.
Yeah.
Because the way Leicester are playing right now, Brendan Rodgers, I'm sorry, mate, your tactics are outdated. I thought you'd come back from the World Cup and you'd continue the form that you ended with, and it's been completely different.
Leicester sometimes can find the form in games like this.
Liverpool are going to win 3-1. That's my prediction.
Do you know what, Theo? I agree with you. I said a couple of weeks ago, when Liverpool start winning, they're going to keep winning. I'm sticking with that. I'm going Liverpool 3, Leicester 1.
Could we see Cody Gakpo already make his debut for the Reds? I'm not so sure, depending on paperwork. He's already at the Merseyside, so it makes sense that maybe there might be a possibility. The real one, though, is for Leicester. It's really tough. They were poor against Newcastle. Newcastle were really, really good. If I had an out there prediction, I still couldn't really give them a chance. I think this will be a 3-0 win.
Wolverhampton Wanderers against Manchester United. It's 18th against 5th there, but it's 2 teams who won last week.
Can we just give a clap? Let's give a clap. 8-0. They have found a win, which has lifted them off 20th place in the Premier League table. Finally, they've got some good form, something to cheer about.
That was absolutely incredible. They've only won 3 times this season. They've only scored 10 goals. But is this the moment when Wolves have turned around their season?
It's unfortunate they're playing red hot Manchester United.
Yes.
I know it's at Molineux, which helps. United looks so good against Forest. Fred all getting involved in contributions, but the way they also hold down the midfield. Finally, Manchester United have a tactic under Erik ten Hag that works. We could complement all 11 players, couldn't we?
Man United looking really good without Cristiano, Theo. It's like no one's talking about him anymore.
And it's little things like Luke Shaw fitting in at centre-back,
Yeah.
smashing it. Aaron Wan-Bissaka coming back into the team and holding it down. I honestly feel as if Wolves are going to start winning games, but it's not going to happen here.
I reckon this is going to be Wolves 0, Manchester United 1.
Ooh, different from me. Both Wolves losses. Zach, will you make it a 3?
Now, this could be interesting. Manchester United at the moment are starting to play some really nice football under Ten Hag. He's getting people back to their best. With the way Rashford's playing at the moment, I'm going to have to give it to United. I think a 2-1 win away, a pretty solid result.
Manchester City against Everton. It's second against 17th. It's the City of Manchester against the City of Liverpool. Now, last week, City won, didn't they, Theo?
Yeah.
Haaland, 20 goals in 14 games. That's a new record for the Premier League era.
Scored a brace in his birthplace. 17 goals, 11 games. I don't know how you stop the man.
What a terrible result for Everton last week. You think he might get the sack soon?
I watched his post-match interview and he just seemed a little bit salty. Everton fought well.
Yeah.
They had moments where they looked a lot stronger than they did before the World Cup, but it didn't happen, and they came away with a game with the fans booing him, which is never nice. They're now in the middle of a relegation fight, and he even said that. He said, look, we're going to have to accept we're now in a relegation fight. There's no other way of looking at it. We need to invest in January. You can't rely on Neil Maupay and Anthony Gordon to save you in the Premier League. I know they can do it on the occasional game, but you need DCL back. And apparently he's going to be fit for Man City. Look, I'm going to be honest. I've predicted Man City to batter Everton because I can't see how much it means to the players. The Toffees players didn't fight enough against Wolves.
Yes.
They didn't fight enough. They were dancing in the 7th minute when Yerry Mina made it 1-0. Don't you realise you're in a relegation fight? Scoring in the 7th minute is great, but 3 points is what matters from that. Stop dancing. And even Everton fans were thinking the same thing.
I think this is going to be 3-0. What I noticed last week that I found funny, Jack Grealish, did you see his misses? And then at the Newcastle game, Almiron absolutely smashing it. I thought that was a little bit ironic.
After the words. But Grealish did get 2 assists, so let's not be too harsh.
Fair enough.
Manchester City versus Everton. I mean, let's keep this short and sweet. Manchester City are going to absolutely roll over Everton. Haaland, De Bruyne, Grealish, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, you name it, whatever. Yeah, I think this could be 4-0 to Manchester City.
Fulham in 9th place against Southampton, rock bottom in the division.
Yeah.
Theo, 2 teams with completely contrasting forms. Now, Fulham last week, even Tim Ream was scoring. What a good victory that was against 9-man Crystal Palace.
I don't think it's Fulham being outstanding. I think they just pounced on Palace's mistakes. Mitro is meant to be a doubt. He went and scored. De Cordova-Reid, if he gets the ball in the box, he'll always nod it in.
Yes.
You just got to give him the chance. They've just got their tactics right. I back Marco Silva to finish in the top half at the very least. They're rock bottom as it stands. They need to get their tactics right. I don't know what it is. They need to invest in January, to be honest. Someone like Bazunu in goal.
Yeah.
I think he's been one of the worst goalkeepers in the Premier League this season. But the guy needs to start making important reflex saves. The way they threw the game away last week, the guy was shocking. They need to play their strongest 11 if they want to have a chance to beat Fulham. Right now, I'm going all in for the Whites. 2-0, Mitro to score.
Yeah, Theo, it's going to be a home win this. I'm going to go 2-1. I think Southampton, they might get a goal, but the worst form in the league, and I think it will continue.
Quite like Everton, they need a striker. They need someone to score goals. Che Adams is okay, but Adam Armstrong just hasn't worked out. And with the way Mitrovic is at the moment, I think he'll probably bag both these goals. A 2-0 win for Fulham at home. To be quite honest, if Southampton pull something off here, that would probably be one of the biggest shocks of the weekend.
Bournemouth against Crystal Palace, it's 14th against 11th. These are 2 teams, Theo, who lost last week. Now, Bournemouth have lost 4 of the last 5. Crystal Palace ended with 9 men last week.
Quick word on Crystal Palace.
Go for it.
Disgrace from Patrick Vieira. The lack of attitude his players had in that Premier League return.
Yeah.
I saw they were in Turkey having a really strong effort to get their players fit in their time off during the World Cup, and I really thought they'd come out with a bounce against Fulham, and they looked a joke. You're just gifting Fulham constant attacks, passes going astray, and guess what? They scored from it. That's what happens in football. There are so many questions I have for Patrick Vieira after that performance. The way they threw that game away, which they could have won. It makes me going into it thinking the Cherries can win.
Do you know what, Theo? I think Crystal Palace have got the best squad, but like you say, they have been disappointing recently. So I'm going to go with home advantage
I
here.
am too.
I'm going to say Bournemouth 2, Crystal Palace 1.
And that's the first time I can shake your hand and say I agree. They know their surroundings, they know how to grind out 3 points, and Gary O'Neill is a Bolton legend, so I've got to back him.
I like this Palace side. I've said this numerous times. I think their front line is really, really exciting when all fit and firing. I'd like to go with a Palace win here. I do like O'Neill. And I think he's more than willing to try things and change things up when needed and be a little bit risky. So I think this will be a tight game. I'm going to say 2-1 to Crystal Palace.
Newcastle United against Leeds United. It's third against 15th. What an intriguing northern battle this is going to be. And Newcastle, best form in the league. They've won the last 5 games there.
2 of the best sets of fans. Let's respect Newcastle, though, because their form right now is just insane. About to go 12 consecutive Premier League games without a defeat. I think that's for the first time as a club in absolutely ages. They briefly moved to 2nd place. Who says they can't win the Prem?
I do.
Why?
They're not ready. They haven't quite got the personnel. They are doing superbly, Theo. They were 2nd for a while. They're 3rd now. That is superb.
European football, top 4, Champions League. Let the Geordies dream. It's not happened since the 03-04 season.
I think that would be absolutely sensational. A lot of neutrals will be looking at this and thinking, why not?
And Almiron is too. Do you see the way he drifted past 5 Leicester players to make it another goal?
That was a sensational goal, and what a season that man is having.
9 goals. All respect to Eddie Howe. I think I predicted Leicester to beat Newcastle last week. I take it all back. Do you think Jesse Marsch needs to accept the truth of the Premier League table?
Well, I'll tell you what, Theo. Leeds play some quite nice, aggressive, attacking football at times.
But that's
they
not going to win you
press
football
hard.
games.
But they are narrowly above the relegation zone, and that's not good enough.
Right now, I'm going to have to predict Newcastle to win. St James's Park is going to be loving it. 2-0.
And I think there could be goals here, Theo. I'm going to go Newcastle United 3, Leeds United 1. I think Leeds will score from somewhere because they're going to push forward and try and do that.
This game is kind of like feeling like it's going to be a Newcastle win anyway. You never know. I just think the way Newcastle are at the moment, their form, how their players are playing. I mean, the fact that Almiron came back after the World Cup break, and I kind of thought maybe he'd cool down. To score the goal he did against Leicester was fantastic. I think this is obviously going to be going one way, and that is a 3-1 win to Newcastle.
Brighton and Hove Albion in 7th against Arsenal in 1st place in the Premier League. And first of all, Theo, I've got to say this. Solly March. We don't often talk about him.
Josh, the editor, is going to be loving life. Solly March scored a worldie. I thought he did. I don't know how you can strike a ball that good when you've had a Christmas dinner 10 hours before. No need for McAllister. They are just shining right now.
They are playing some superb football, aren't they? I mean, Arsenal, Theo, lost 1, draw 1, and won 13 games this season.
It's unbelievable. The last 2 games they've faced, Brighton have won them both.
Yeah.
And in history, when this game gets heated, it's usually the boys in the South Coast that come away with a result. Gabriel Jesus is going to be a big miss, and against West Ham, he wasn't. Eddie Nketiah, what a turn for the 3rd goal.
I'll tell you what, Theo, he played superbly in that game. Saka, Martinelli were good.
Everyone was great, but West Ham were shocking. But the weird thing is with Brighton, they're usually better away from home than out. I can't really call this game, but if the Seagulls want it, they can stop them, can't they?
But because it's Arsenal, and because of the record so far, I'm going Brighton 1, Arsenal 2. But I won't be surprised if it's a 1-1 draw, a 2-2 draw.
Well, you just mentioned it. 2-2 draw.
Yes.
Has got my name on it. A high-scoring draw. A great encounter of football. Maybe so good, we should bring back the live streams. Who knows? Oh, it's a bit cool, but maybe we need to do it. Listen, either way, I can see something mad happening this game.
One of their bogey teams is Brighton. De Zerbi is also doing a fantastic job there. They've got McAllister as well, having come back with a World Cup winners medal around his neck. I don't think Arsenal will drop points. And the way that this Brighton side has actually also gotten better under De Zerbi as well, after obviously the fantastic job that Graham Potter had done there. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw, but I do think there's a chance of a slight upset here.
Tottenham Hotspur against Aston Villa. It's 4th against 12th now.
No, wait, no, stop. I want 20,000 likes. Forget the like target. I've made a new TikTok. My old TikTok got taken down. The account got banned.
No.
Shocking. I don't know. They don't want us on here. That we're against the Matrix. I'm joking. So we're making a massive return, and we need everybody to go over there. And if you send me a screenshot, you follow my new TikTok, I'm giving someone 2 Premier League tickets at random for the future game weeks of your choice. Let's get back to the football. Tottenham Villa. What do you expect?
Well, it's all going Millhouse, isn't it, Theo?
Yep.
But Tottenham Hotspur, Theo, came from 2-0 down. They're leaking too many goals this
season.
Well,
it was in extra time. TikTok when Harry Kane had that header looped over. Crossbar. They couldn't get the winner against Brentford.
I know.
And the fact they went 2-0 down was pretty appalling. But they did bring it back, and Kane did score. So respect where respect is due. Where do you think Antonio Conte goes with this game? Surely 3 points is an absolute must at home. Ollie Watkins finally scored with a lovely cushioned header. Do you think they have a chance?
I think Spurs should win this quite comfortably, to be quite honest. And I'm going to go for a clean sheet. I'm going to go Spurs 2, Aston Villa 0. It's time for Spurs' defence to tighten up.
I think both teams do score 4 goals. Great match on telly if you get time to watch it. Tottenham 3, Villa 1. And I sense a Kulusevski masterclass.
But against Aston Villa, an Aston Villa side still kind of finding themselves under Unai Emery. A better Aston Villa side. I think they were unfortunate against Liverpool. Let's go with form. I'm going to say 2-2. 2-2, why not?
And finally, Nottingham Forest in 19th place against Chelsea in 8th place. Now, Forest form has been better than Chelsea's in recent weeks, but last week, Chelsea finally won.
Are they going down?
Yes, I think they are, Theo, but they're putting up a good fight. Now, that relegation zone, the bottom 7 or 8 places, very, very tight.
Just takes a few results, doesn't it? It's funny because Chelsea were on very bad form, but they come back to the World Cup. Strong 2-0 win. They're now going to go away with a bit more confidence. I think Chelsea win this. Just low scoring. I can see Sterling sneaking it 1-0.
Wow, now this isn't the Nottingham Forest of the Brian Clough days. I remember those days, Theo, very well, when they actually won the European Cup twice. Anyway, I'm waffling now.
Yeah.
This will be a close game. I'm going to go Forest 1, Chelsea 2. I think a narrow win.
Yeah, they only just ended a 5-match winless run, but I have one man who'll know better about Chelsea than anybody else. He even works for the club and Sky Sports and Football Daily. It's Zach Delab.
Chelsea should run right here. I'm not going to go too crazy. 2-0 win for Chelsea. Just a solid display, hopefully. Let's try and build something here and have a strong start to the season of 2023. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to check me out, my socials are Zach Delab, or check us out on Football Daily.
Thog is back. Win those Premier League match tickets. Send me a screenshot on Instagram DMs. And on that note, I'm ending the video. I'm going. I'm off. Bye.